What's up guys, Core Nerd here. Today we're going to be taking a look at Windows 8. And really, we're going to take a look at a lot of the features with Windows 8 and obviously the changes that have happened to the whole entire thing and how to use Windows 8, really. And that's what this video is going to focus on, is how to get into Windows 8 and start running your programs and doing what you like to do. We're going to customize programs, we're going to put them in places where we want them, and we're going to explain how this operating system really changed from Windows XP to Windows 7 and to Windows 8. Vista's not in that category because I don't like Vista. But anyways, so with Windows 8, a lot has changed, obviously. We are first presented with this screen, and we're wondering, what the hell is this? Well, this is really a optimized section for touch experience, so it really feels like I should go ahead and use my index finger and start touching, although in this case I can't because it's not a touchscreen, which kind of sucks. But anyways, you can also use your mouse to click on it, so you don't have to worry, and it makes it, in my opinion, a little bit easier to get to your programs for people who don't know how to. But let's pretend this is an iPad, or let's pretend this is really a tablet-like computer. So we get all our applications on a tablet from the App Store on an iPad, or the Play Store on an Android tablet. In Windows case, we're going to go to the Windows Store. Obviously, it's just where you get your apps. So in order to search for an app, you really have to move your cursor over to the right side, and here's a search button. So again, move your cursor over to the right, and that's with any application that's open. You can go ahead and do that. And we move our cursor over to the right, click on search, and now we can search within the store. Now I want to point out something before we continue searching within the store. You can search within other applications too. So if I click on Bing, I can search within Bing. If I click on Store, I will search within Store. If I click on Kindle, I can search within Kindle. Same with Netflix, which I think is kind of cool. So that's a very nice feature they've used as a search optimization for this. So you can search your heart out if you're into that. So I'm going to search for something relatively simple that I think would be on the App Store, and we're going to search for Minesweeper, because that's the classic game. Really? That's annoying. Well, Minesweeper in this case is going to cost $1.49. My Minesweeper, which I think is free. Yes, so we're going to go with this one, and we're going to hit the install button. So again, I just installed it, and because I clicked on that little notification, it launched the program, which I think is kind of cool. So again, we have the classic Minesweeper game, which we can click anywhere. 2, 2, 1, 1. And yeah, I'm not good at playing Minesweeper. I know how it works. I'm doing this for demonstration purposes. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2. I'm going to take my risk. 1, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I wish I could win this game, we'll put it that way. I think that's a bad one to choose. 1, 2, 3. Ah, I was so close. But as you can see, it brings you right into the app, which is cool. Now, let's say we want to get back to the whole start menu I was showing you guys before. So basically, you want to hit the. You have a couple of options. You can move your cursor over to the left, and that'll get you back to the start screen. Or you can simply press the Windows key, and that'll quickly get you back to where you want to go. And again, think of it really as a tablet. Like this, the Windows key is the home button on Windows, and the home button is the home button on the iPad. Pretty much, you have the same concept. So now to continue on this look at Windows 8. It's very cool how they organize the structure of this because everything's in quote-unquote tiles. So again, you can access the app that we just installed, Minesweeper, in that tile, and just click on it, and it'll appear in full screen. And again, to get back, we can click the left edge of the screen. Now, let's say we upgraded from Windows 7 Professional. let's go to the desktop like we normally would. So here's my playlist from Pandora. We notice several things are different. Obviously, there's no start menu anymore. It's just the screen. Again, that I showed you on the left side. So, we're wondering, where the heck is our applications? Well, if you guys do remember, when I set this up, I showed you the search. Well, to get the search, I can easily move to this corner of the screen and click on search, or I can start typing my program that I'm looking for. So, let's say I'm looking for Steam. I just selected that. Let's say I'm looking for Chrome. Again, it works the same way. And I'm trying to think of a good one that would be Portal. So let's say I want to have Portal back on this home screen because, again, with Windows 8, everything you buy in the Windows Store will appear on this home screen, but your other applications won't necessarily appear on the home screen. So you search for your application, so I'll search for Portal, and then you right-click on what you've searched for. Instead of left-click to open it, you right-click, and it says Pin to Start. So you left-click on Pin to Start. Again, let's go back to our Start menu, and now we have Portal here. So I'm going to go ahead and drag Portal where my other games are, and it'll launch the game. I'm not going to launch it in this case, but I'll show you the other Windows app that I have on here that's not a part of Metro. Here's Calculator. And that's how you get to it. It's an interesting way to organize your apps. Now, let's say you want to name each section of the tiles that I was telling you about. You can press the Control key and use your scrolling or middle mouse button and right-click on each section to name it. So in this case, I'm going to name this group. I'm going to call it Games. And in this group, I'm going to call it Microsoft Office 2013. And in this group, I'm going to call it Miscellaneous. In this group, I'm going to call Common. This group, I'll call it Internet. So again, and to get back into full screen mode where you don't just see these, you can click or you can just use the Control key again and scroll upwards. So, as you can see, the Common, Internet, Games, Microsoft Office 2013, and Miscellaneous, which will put the games where they belong, Miscellaneous here. So, yeah, like I said, we now have our games. We have Portal. We have all those games organized. You have Web, which Internet. I'm going to put Google Chrome and Internet Explorer in. And as we begin to add more items relating to the Internet, let's even put SkyDrive in there. I believe it'll start making it easier. Let's also make this tile smaller. Again, to make anything smaller or to adjust any of the icons or tiles here, you can just right-click on them and you say it's smaller. One thing that's really cool about Windows 8 is the live tiles, which will give you live updates depending on the app developer about the news. But sometimes it can get big and sometimes it can consume your system, so you can right-click and say turn live tile off, and that'll just get you into the travel section. So let's go ahead and drag more internet-related tools out, and we'll see what happens as I tend to make more and more. So it seems to make automatic. It brings everything automatically to the right end, so it will organize your photos and everything pretty well. I'm going to make this smaller. So Common, Internet, Microsoft Office 2013, Miscellaneous, obviously is going to be this stuff. And you can play with this on your own. I mean, this is just for demonstration purposes, but as you can see, you get the point. You can launch either of your apps within the Start menu. Now let's say you're into desktop mode, and you actually have a desktop, and you really can't deal with the Windows 8 way, which happens to have everything placed on a Start menu. Well, There are a couple of options here, and Microsoft has included one that's, I think, is cool for system administrators. That would be, you can right-click where it says Start, and you're given sort of your classic options here, which, in my opinion, is necessary if you're joining a computer to a Windows domain controller or a domain, or if you're looking at uninstalling programs really quickly, getting to the control panel without going into the settings. You can just right-click here, and you're given your control panel. If you just left-click here, your classic control panel, your command prompt, your disk management. So all the administrative tasks that you wanted to do are not gone, they're just hidden. And you can also do computer management, which will get you to Device Manager, System, if I want to join to a Windows domain, if I go into Computer. Now, if this stuff is not making sense to any of you guys right now, and you're just wondering how to use Windows 8, basically, then ignore what I'm saying, but this is to appeal to people who like to get deep inside the computer. And as you can see, I still have folders on my desktop. I can still get my other applications to install. If I use the internet, for example, let's go ahead and get the game Armageddon. Although I think I already have it here. Let's do something different. Let's go to giveawayoftheday.com to see if I find a Windows software. Let's see. I'm not liking that. Let's think, what else will I install? I already got Firefox. Well, let's do anything here. Let's do Everest Home Edition. So it's just a regular Windows program you can get on the internet. And again, you can just download it the way you normally would. View my downloads. Here we go. Let it download. And it'll work the way it normally does. And you can go ahead and install it. Or in my case, you can actually go ahead and extract it to the desktop. So I'm going to actually make a new one, new folder. We're going to call it Everest. And it doesn't change that much, so I can go ahead and drag in Everest. And we can go ahead and launch Everest. So there you go. I mean, it hasn't changed too much, but you do have to be aware of Metro, and you might want to utilize it to organize yourself as far as your programs that you open. And again, speaking of programs that you open, remember, if I go to the left side here and start scrolling down, I can see the programs that are already open in Metro mode. And to simply get rid of them, I could go ahead and, again, right-click, close, right-click, close, right-click, close. One thing I wish Windows 8 did have the feature to do. Now, you can also drag it down and it'll get rid of it, but I just wish that as I went right here and I dragged it over here, it would close, but in this case it didn't. And the only way to close is to drag it down like that. Let's go back to the desktop here. Let's close this. Close this.